rest. You're gonna need
but you got entertainment. You got entertainment.
Just now, shocking reports claim that Turki Al-Shikh lost interest in making Canelo fight Crawford.
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
Meanwhile, after his second press conference with Edgar Berlanga, Canelo Alvarez was asked about Crawford fighting him at 168, to which he responded that Terrence knows that 154 is too much for him.
And I'm the face of boxing.
Crawford wanted a payday, but Crawford didn't do good at 54. When I talk to people, they all tell me you would have knocked him out at 68.
Well, he knows now. He experimented the 154 and he knows. Maybe he do in 168 for a big check.
Moreover, Canelo was asked about fighting David Benavidez at 175 pounds, to which he responded that 175 is David's weight class, it's not his. Canelo also said that if the people want him to fight David, then they would have to pay him a big sum of money. Alvarez reassured the audience that he has always fought anybody the fans wanted, but only if the money was right. He also said that he may fight Benavidez in the future before he retires from boxing. On the contrary, Turki Al-Shikh seemed more interested in making Crawford fight Vergil Ortiz at 154 pounds. Former boxer Chris Algieri astoundingly commented that the fight with Vergil wasn't even a possibility until Turki mentioned it.
It's Crawford, right? He had an audition at 154, essentially won his fight at 154, but snapped an 11-fight KO streak, right? Went the distance in a very, very tough fight with Israel Madrimov. Is this fight a similar kind of thing? We're not just seeing it as a fight, but maybe an audition for the Crawford fight. What's your thought on that?
Well, potentially. I don't think people were really thinking about Crawford and Vergil Ortiz too much until Turki Al-Shikh jumped in before that fight and mentioned it. Yeah, it was a thought process. If Crawford was going to stay at 54 and he's going to try and collect the belts, that a Vergil Ortiz fight could materialize.
Chris said that Turki has made a lot of fights possible when people thought they were never going to happen, but Turki Sheikh deserves hats off for that. Algieri worryingly claimed that in terms of the money Crawford is looking for in the fight, Vergil Ortiz is not one of them because he had been eyeing Canelo Alvarez for a very long time. That was the same reason Terrence went up to 154 pounds to face Israel Madrimov before he could face Canelo at 168. Chris further added that if Crawford wants to stay at 154 pounds and unify all the belts, then it may give him more popularity, but he needs to do that fast enough because he is getting older by the minute. On the other hand, Mike Tyson's former coach, Teddy Atlas, commented that if you bring in Turki Al-Shikh into the mix, then all the money is already there for the boxers, so Crawford can fight whoever he wants.
Getting for 1 second the new element in this game of boxing called Turki Al-Shikh. That he's with his money, it doesn't matter if you're there the way it used to matter. You're right. It used to matter that you had to be there to be able to draw that kind of money. You had to have those kind of signature fights. You had to have, been through the fire. You had to have proven yourself out on that marketplace to be that guy to bring something that so far Boots Ennis hasn't quite gotten there yet.
Atlas further said that if Turki Al-Shikh thinks the fight with Vergil Ortiz is a good fight, and that is what the fans want, then he will put all the money behind it, no matter the cost. Former boxer Paulie Malignaggi had the same remarks with respect to Turki Sheikh. He said that Turkish fights are very evenly matched. That is why there are so many upsets, just like what happened in the Riyadh season.
If you notice if you really notice something with Turki Al-Shikh's cards, a lot of upsets because they're very, very evenly matched fights at a world-class level, no less. So it's basically, we've got that model here at Pro Box, but they're doing it at a world-class level. So you're seeing more and more upsets. And Jimmy, you mentioned a point about how Crawford looking a certain way. He looked like maybe he struggled at 154 against Madrimov. I thought Madrimov was an excellent fighter. I thought they both boxed very, very well, and it was a close fight.
Paulie shed light on the fact that when you have top guys compete against top guys, then you see a lot of variation in the fights in terms of the wins they are getting. It's no longer the case when top guys of the division were winning for 10 or even 20 straight fights in a row because of how unevenly matched boxing had become. Now the fans may see champions get dethroned fairly quickly, just like the Crawford and Madrimov fight. Malignaggi further said that no fighter is going to look perfect every single time because of how competitive the fights will become with Turkish presence.
Well, you're going to need a rest. You're going to need
but you got entertainment. You got entertainment.
This is.
Furthermore, Chris talked about the fact that the same thing happens with UFC, where the fights are really competitive and no fights are ever easy. The UFC fights are extremely evenly matched, and the top guys usually have a lot of losses. Al-Jari further described the irony behind boxing when he commented that we have 3 guys in the same division and all 3 of them are undefeated champions. How is that ever possible? Paulie commented on why Turki Al-Shikh will change boxing matches. With Turki Al-Shikh, we have what they don't, like they do in the UFC. They fight each other and they actually get paid. You don't have Dana White withholding money, you actually get paid. So these guys are fighting each other, making the money they deserve. Yes, taking risks, giving the fans the fights. They want consistently action fights, upsets across the board. Furthermore, Paulie was asked about the potential matchups aside from Canelo in the 154-pound division. He said that Tim Tszyu is a really good option, as well as a possible return of Errol Spence Jr. Paulie shockingly claimed that the fans can see a Madrimov-Crawford rematch as well in this division. Meanwhile, Teddy commented that we may see a return of Boots Ennis against Crawford, even though he didn't have all the big fights in the past. By adding Turki into the mix, Crawford's match with Boots Ennis is very much a possibility. Moreover, Paulie said that the entertainment aspect of the sport is going to rise with Turki.
You're going to need
but you got entertainment. You got entertainment.
In a recent post, Turki Al-Shikh completely dismissed the Canelo-Crawford fight, expressing his stern disinterest in the matchup. He also said that he will support other fighters aside from Crawford like Boots, Shakur, Zepeda, and Ortiz. Turki and Crawford received a smoking backlash after the Riyadh season fight with Israel Madrimov. One boxing critic mentioned that the reason why Turki doesn't want the Canelo fight is because he saw Crawford's performance against Madrimov. Saturday's performance proved that Crawford won't be able to beat Canelo, but Turki will definitely make excuses to shift his direction into the money Canelo was asking. On the other hand, Canelo stunningly slammed Turki Al-Shikh in his recent interview. He said that Turki asked him about the Crawford fight, but he was focused on Edgar Berlanga, so he shunned Turki on the spot.
My response to Turki is this. Yesterday, they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February with Crawford. Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
Canelo further commented that he didn't like the way Turki talked to him about the Crawford fight, so he refused the offer completely. Alvarez doesn't like to discuss future plans when he has a fight on his immediate schedule, and he emphasized how that point applies even when pressed by boxing's biggest power broker, Turki Al-Shikh. Al-Shikh previously sought to poke at Alvarez by saying he was investing in the production of the anticipated UFC card at the Las Vegas Sphere, also on September 14th. Turki said that the UFC card would eat Alvarez's show. Alvarez responded to Turki in a respectful fashion. I'm not here to disrespect anyone. I always fight on Mexican independence, and I have my fans and my people, and they've never let me down. Canelo further said that he still feels he's the world's #1 fighter over Crawford, undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, undisputed junior featherweight champion Naoya Inoue, and others. Alvarez expressed confidence that the Mexico versus Puerto Rico angle of his bout with Berlanga stirs his countrymen to strongly support his card. Alvarez further commented on his prediction against Edgar Berlanga. I'm going to bring my best like I always do, and Mexico versus Puerto Rico motivates me even more. It's amazing to represent my country against a city that has so many amazing fighters too. In another interview, Canelo told the audience that Teofimo Lopez deserves to fight Crawford more than him. Alvarez, with an overwhelming amount of confidence, stated that Crawford is a mere payday for him.
You know, aquí, yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first, and then we'll see, right? At the end of the day, like I said before, I'm not asking for that fight. They want to make that fight because it's a payday, obviously. But I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
He's the king at 140 right now.
Yeah.
Teofimo has been calling out Crawford lately, and he's practically begging for the opportunity to fight him. He's even winning to move up to 154 to make the fight happen. Crawford isn't interested in fighting Teofimo because it won't make him near the same money he could get fighting Canelo or some of the other fighters. Canelo had never asked to fight Crawford. It was all on his side, so it's not a big deal that Turki has changed his mind about making that fight because it was never on Canelo's radar. In an interview elsewhere, boxer Caleb Plant was asked about Terence Crawford's performance against Madrimov. Caleb distressingly believed that Crawford's performance lacked conviction and focus, which we normally see.
What did you think about Terence Crawford and Madrimov?
You know, it was a little lackluster in comparison to what I thought it was going to be, or maybe what a lot of us thought it was going to be. But I thought Terence won. I thought it was a close fight, but with him pulling out the rounds in the latter half of the fight, and especially the 11th, 12th round, I thought he for sure, you know, without a doubt, secured the.
Caleb further added that even though Terence won the last 2 rounds, Madrimov showed a really great performance. Plant said that boxing has become more of a popularity contest where you have to have plenty of fights to make a name for yourself and millions of followers. Even though Madrimov did not have the popularity, he put up a great fight. Caleb added his remarks in Madrimov's favor, so even with that guy not being like a superstar, he's got over 300 wins in the amateurs. You know, that guy's a killer, he's a monster, and so you know. Plant supports Crawford for moving up the weight class and securing a win at 154 pounds because it adds to the name of boxing in general. On the opposite end, Eddie Hearn also criticized Terence for a poor performance against Madrimov, which may have been the major reason why Turki turned his attention to other fighters rather than Crawford and Canelo. Hearn claimed that Crawford got rocked really well from a guy that only had 10 professional fights in. Terence Crawford completely fired back at Eddie for his shameful remarks against him. Crawford took to social media and replied that he has never seen a matchroom event like the Riyadh season, which was not thanks to Hearn. Crawford further added, Eddie Hearn better thank Turki Al-Shikh for keeping all these clowns in the business. Turki only cares about what is best for the fighters and the fans, not the promoters who are destroying the sport. Let the haters hate. Eddie Hearn further commented on the biased decision on the scorecards during Crawford's fight with Madrimov. Hearn was of the view that the fight should definitely have been a draw.
You know, it was a little bit of a... And then when I saw the scorecards, not just a couple that had been crossed out, but particularly like to give the last 4 rounds to Terence Crawford, the first 4 rounds to Terence Crawford, that was just on one card. You know, I don't know, but I think if I'm thinking about the fight back, it was really the 11th and 12th round that probably hurt us the most. And when it's 115, 113, 1 round goes the other way, it's a draw. You know, so if we won one of those rounds, 11 or 12, it's a majority.
Eddie further pointed out that the Canelo fight is a really bad fight for Crawford at 168. Madrimov was a very strong, a big one, 54. And look, he still handled him physically. It wasn't like he looked small in there, but it's 168. It's a different ball game. Talking about another 14 pounds, plus what Canelo hydrates too. Bud can really move in that fight. But for me, I don't think he wins that fight. Canelo had the same remarks for Crawford, such that he thinks the fight with Madrimov should have been a draw. Alvarez further added that Crawford was using his name during the Riyadh season to sell the fight.
What did you make of Crawford's performance against Madrimov?
For me, I think he lost. He lost the fight or draw.
Okay.
Or could be the other side. He knows why his weight class is there, right?
He was saying your name a lot all week. I was out there in LA.
Because he want to sell the fight. If they don't talk about me, they don't say anything.
Would you look at a fight with Crawford? Because in the past you've told me no.
If the money is right, I mean,
the money's got to be big for that.
I don't like fighters who move around, you know.
Weight classes.
Yeah.
Turki and Canelo had some back and forth on social media. In a recent post, Turki responded to Canelo's words of respecting him. Turki disrespected Canelo once again, claiming that Canelo was wasting his time by demanding too much money. Meanwhile, Canelo and Edgar Berlanga almost started a fight with each other during their second press conference, so much so that the authorities had to step in to control the situation. Canelo jokingly claimed that he doesn't want to end Berlanga right now because then he will not get paid.
I don't want to shut up. I don't want to shut up. Talk, shut up. I don't want to shut up.
Canelo.
No, talk, shut up.
Canelo.
What? And then what? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't want to right now because your money is gone. So take it easy.
Canelo was asked about Berlanga's change in behavior in comparison to his previous press conference, then Alvarez responded that he is nervous. Canelo commented that Edgar will be in the ring with a champion, so that made him lose his cool. Alvarez disturbingly stated that Edgar Berlanga is childish and he hits like his own son, turning our attention back to Turki Al-Shikh. During the Riyadh season, Turki Al-Shikh seemed confident that he could convince Canelo to fight with Crawford. Turki was asked about making Canelo an offer, to which he responded that if Canelo is smart, then he will accept.
I tell before to the ESPN, I give him the offer. If he's smart, he will accept it.
Turki further claimed that if Terence Crawford doesn't win the fight against Madrimov, then he would make the Ortiz fight happen instead of Canelo. With the success of the Riyadh season, Turki reassured the audience that he will be coming again for bigger fights. Before Crawford's fight against Madrimov, Turki predicted that Terence will knock out Israel in the 8th round, which turned out to be disturbingly untrue. Meanwhile, UFC champion Conor McGregor fired back at Canelo on social media for demanding too much money to fight David Benavidez. McGregor disrespectfully claimed that Turki made a wise choice for moving on to other fighters. Did Canelo demand too much dough from Turki? What is your opinion? Let us know in the comments below.